This audiobook reveals a timeless truth. Your thoughts create your reality. Unlock the power within your mind and transform your life, thought by thought. Think and succeed. Introduction. In the depths of your being lies a power so extraordinary, it has shaped the destiny of every soul who has walked upon this earth. This power, the divine force of thought, flows through you in each moment, crafting your reality with silent precision. The universe responds not to your words or actions alone, but to the vibrations of your innermost thoughts. Like ripples upon still waters, each thought sends waves through the fabric of existence, drawing to you that which matches its frequency. This is not mere wishful thinking, but an immutable law as constant as gravity itself. You stand now at the threshold of understanding, preparing to step into knowledge that has been whispered through the corridors of time. Masters and sages throughout the ages have understood this fundamental truth. Your thoughts are living forces, seeds that bloom into the garden of your life experience. Within these pages rest the ancient keys to unlocking this birthright of creation. The wisdom contained here has been preserved and passed down, waiting for those ready to embrace their true creative power. These are not new teachings, but eternal principles that have guided those who shaped history's greatest achievements. The path before you leads to mastery over your own mind, and through it, mastery over your destiny. As you turn these pages, you will discover how to harness the natural laws that govern all creation, transforming abstract understanding into living power. Your presence here is no accident. You have been drawn to this knowledge because your spirit recognizes a truth your conscious mind may only now begin to grasp. You are the author of your own story, the creator of your own experience, wielding the most powerful force in existence, the power of thought. Part 1. Awakening to the Power of Thought. Chapter 1. The Hidden Power Within Your Mind. In a village snuggled among ancient hills lived an artisan who crafted vessels from clay. Each morning, as his hands worked the earth, his mind wandered to visions of beauty yet unseen. While others saw simple clay, he witnessed the emergence of forms that first took shape in his thoughts. One day, as he sat before his wheel, he pictured a vessel of such extraordinary design that it seemed impossible to create. Yet as he worked, his hands followed the blueprint laid out in his mind. To his amazement, the finished piece surpassed even his imagination, its beauty drawing admirers from distant lands. The creative force of thought flows through all existence, manifesting in ways both subtle and profound. Your mind, like the artisan's wheel, shapes the raw material of life into forms that match your inner vision. Each thought you hold becomes a mold into which universal energy flows, taking shape in the physical world with unwavering precision. This power knows no boundaries. The thoughts you nurture, whether of abundance or lack, joy or sorrow, become the architects of your experience. Just as a seed contains within it the full pattern of the tree it will become, your thoughts hold the complete blueprint of their physical manifestation. The universe responds not to the words you speak, but to the vibration of the thoughts you maintain. Like the artisan's quiet contemplation, your sustained mental pictures become the template for physical creation. This is not magic, but natural law, as consistent as the turning of the seasons. In a distant city lived a learned scholar who prided himself on his rational mind. When shown the artisan's remarkable works, he dismissed them as mere coincidence. Thoughts are simply electrical impulses, he declared. They hold no creative power. Though surrounded by books of knowledge, His rigid beliefs prevented him from recognizing the very force that had brought forth every human achievement he studied. The scholar's tale reveals how intellectual pride can blind us to the simple truth. All creation begins in thought. His dismissal of imagination's power left him unable to access the very force that could have transformed his own life. Now it's time for a sacred practice called the mirror of thoughts. Find a quiet space where you will remain undisturbed. Close your eyes and allow your breath to find its natural rhythm. As your mind settles, begin to observe the thoughts that have occupied your mind most frequently over the past year. Watch these thoughts rise before you like bubbles in still water. Notice their nature. Are they filled with possibility or limitation, hope or worry, abundance or scarcity? Now examine your current life circumstances. Like a mirror reflecting your dominant thoughts, see how your experiences align with the mental patterns you've maintained. Notice the direct correlation between your sustained thoughts and the conditions of your life. Take your journal and record these observations, noting specific instances where your thoughts preceded manifestation. This practice reveals the invisible thread connecting your inner world to your outer reality, awakening you to the creative power that has always been at work through your thoughts. Chapter 2. Thoughts Are Things. In the heart of an ancient kingdom, a traveler rested beneath a towering oak tree. As the morning mist swirled around him, his mind grew still. In this sacred silence, visions began to unfold. He saw himself standing before great crowds, sharing wisdom that transformed lives. Though he carried only a walking stick and worn sandals, these moments of quietude revealed glimpses of a destiny far grander than his present circumstances suggested. You possess this same capacity for vision that the ancient traveler discovered. Within the chamber of your mind lies a power that transcends time itself, the ability to perceive and pull forth future realities into present manifestation. Your thoughts are not mere abstract concepts floating in consciousness. They are living forces, vibrating with creative energy that seeks expression in physical form. When you understand this truth, you begin to grasp why the wise ones of every age retreated into silence to commune with their visions. Throughout history, every magnificent achievement first existed as a thought seed in someone's mind. The Great Pyramids were first constructed in thought before a single stone was laid. The healing arts were first practiced in the imagination of medicine women and shamans before they discovered the herbs that would cure. These are not mere coincidences, but demonstrations of an immutable law. Thought precedes manifestation. The energy of your thoughts operates with scientific precision. Like attracts like, and the frequency of your mental patterns draws corresponding circumstances into your experience. This is why masters of manifestation guard their thoughts as carefully as a jeweler protects precious gems. Let me share with you the tale of a merchant who doubted the power of his dreams. Each night, visions of a prosperous trading route across distant lands visited his sleep, but in daylight, he dismissed them as foolish fantasies. "Such things are impossible for one such as I," he would mutter, returning to his small shop in the marketplace. Yet the visions persisted, growing stronger with each passing moon. One day, weary of fighting these inner promptings, he began to embrace them. He studied maps, learned foreign languages, and planned his journey, not yet in the physical world, but in the sacred space of his imagination. As his focus shifted from doubt to possibility, doors began to open. A chance meeting with a foreign trader, an unexpected inheritance, a discovered map. Step by step, his inner vision materialized into physical reality. Now I offer you an ancient practice known as the vision seed. This ritual has been passed down through generations of those who understood the creative power of focused thought. Find a quiet space as the sun rises. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Allow your desired future to unfold in your mind's eye with crystal clarity. See not just the outer forms of your success, but feel the emotions that accompany its realization. Experience the joy, the satisfaction, the deep sense of fulfillment. Engage all your senses in this vision. If you seek prosperity, feel the abundance flowing through your life. If you desire health, experience the vitality coursing through your body. If you pursue wisdom, sense the deep understanding permeating your being. Hold this vision for 17 breaths, the number of transformation in ancient traditions. Practice this ritual daily, preferably at the same time, for your thoughts gain power through consistent focus. Chapter 3. Belief as the Catalyst. In the time before time was measured, there lived a warrior whose strength lay not in his sword arm, but in the unshakable power of his belief. While others trained their bodies, he cultivated his conviction. Before each battle, he would stand alone, eyes closed, already seeing victory manifest through the pure force of his unwavering faith. As armies approached, his fellow soldiers trembled, but he remained serene, for he had already witnessed triumph in the sanctuary of his mind. Battle after battle, his absolute certainty guided his blade with uncanny precision. His victories were not won through superior strength or skill, but through the invisible power of his complete conviction. You too possess this same capacity for unshakable belief. The power that guided the ancient warrior's sword awaits your command, ready to transform your deepest intentions into living reality. Your beliefs are the foundation upon which all manifestation rests. They are not merely thoughts you think, but the very lens through which you perceive and create your reality. When you truly understand this, you begin to witness how every circumstance in your life reflects your deepest convictions. The universe responds not to your wishes or wants, but to your unwavering beliefs. Those who master manifestation understand that doubt negates desire. You cannot attract prosperity while harboring beliefs of lack. You cannot manifest health while clinging to fears of illness. Your beliefs must align with your intentions for the law of attraction to operate at its full potential. In a distant village, there lived a farmer who understood this truth. During a great drought, while others despaired, he maintained an unshakable faith in abundance. Each morning, he would tend his fields as if rain had already blessed the earth. His neighbors mocked his seemingly foolish optimism, but he continued his preparations with complete conviction. He spoke of coming prosperity when others spoke of poverty. He planned for abundance when others planned for famine. Many thought him mad, but his unwavering belief began to manifest in subtle ways. His crops, though struggling, survived where others failed. His animals remained healthy while others weakened. Soon other farmers began following his methods, and gradually the entire village transformed through the power of one man's steadfast faith. Now I share with you an ancient practice for transforming beliefs known as the Declaration of Truth. This ritual has transformed countless lives throughout the ages. Begin by identifying the beliefs that no longer serve your highest good. Write them down, then ceremonially burn the paper, releasing their hold over your reality. Next, craft new declarations of truth that align with your desired reality. These are not mere affirmations, but proclamations of what you know to be true at the deepest level of your being. Speak these declarations aloud 3 times daily. at sunrise, noon, and sunset. Feel their truth resonating in every cell of your body. For example, I am naturally aligned with unlimited abundance. Every circumstance serves my highest good. The universe conspires for my success. Choose declarations that evoke a sense of knowing rather than hoping. The power lies not in the words themselves, but in the unwavering conviction with which you speak them. Chapter 4. The Role of Feeling in Manifestation. In the heart of an ancient kingdom lived a musician whose melodies carried more than mere notes. They bore the essence of pure feeling. While others played songs, she wove emotions into sound, transforming the very air around her. Those who heard her music found their lives mysteriously altered, their fortunes shifting like leaves in a gentle wind. The secret of her power lay not in her technical skill, but in her ability to infuse each note with the vibration of pure feeling. When she played of joy, listeners found themselves smiling without knowing why. When her music spoke of abundance, merchants reported inexplicable good fortune in their trades. Your thoughts, like her music, gain extraordinary power when amplified by genuine emotion. The universe responds not just to what you think, but to what you feel in the depths of your being. This is why two people can speak the same words of abundance, yet experience vastly different results. One speaks from the intellect alone, while the other infuses their words with the living force of feeling. Emotion is the catalyst that transforms mere thoughts into magnetic forces of creation. When you combine clear intention with pure feeling, you create a resonance that the universe cannot ignore. This is the hidden key that many seek but few discover. Your emotions are the fuel that powers the engine of manifestation. Think of your desired outcome not as a distant possibility, but as a present reality waiting to be felt. The stronger your emotional connection to this reality, the more powerful your attraction becomes. This is why gratitude proves such a potent force. It combines positive thought with genuine feeling, creating an irresistible magnetic pull toward greater abundance. In a remote mountain village, a sage taught this wisdom to people struggling with scarcity. Rather than lecturing them about positive thinking, she guided them to feel abundance in their bodies. "Close your eyes," she would say, "and remember a time when your cup overflowed with plenty. Let that feeling fill you completely." Day after day, she led them in this practice of emotional immersion. Those who fully embraced the exercise began noticing subtle shifts, first in their perception, then in their circumstances. A farmer found forgotten seeds in his storehouse. A weaver received an unexpected commission. The village slowly transformed as its people learned to feel their way into abundance rather than merely thinking about it. Now I share with you the emotion alchemy practice, a sacred technique passed down through generations of wisdom keepers. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring to mind something you wish to manifest. Now, instead of focusing on the thing itself, immerse yourself in the feeling of already having it. If it's abundance you seek, feel the deep security of knowing your needs are met. If it's health, feel the vibrant energy flowing through your body. Let this feeling expand until it fills your entire being. Notice where you feel it in your body. Perhaps it's a warmth in your chest, a lightness in your shoulders, or a smile playing at your lips. Stay with this feeling for several minutes, allowing it to become more real than your current circumstances. Practice this emotional alchemy daily, preferably at sunrise when the world is quiet and receptive. The key lies not in the length of time spent, but in the depth of feeling achieved. Chapter 5. Inner Silence and Mindfulness. In a valley untouched by time, a hermit dwelled in a small cave, spending his days in contemplative silence. While others rushed through life, he discovered that in stillness lay the seeds of transformation. As he cultivated inner quiet, his presence began to affect the entire village below. Those who sought his counsel found their troubled thoughts settling like dust in still water, their paths becoming mysteriously clear. The power of focused thought flows most purely through a quiet mind. When you learn to still the endless chatter of your thoughts, you access a deeper current of creation. This truth has been whispered by sages throughout the ages. The universe speaks most clearly in silence. Your mind, like a pool of water, reflects truth most perfectly when undisturbed. Each passing thought creates ripples that distort this reflection. By cultivating inner stillness, you allow your true creative power to emerge. This is not merely about finding peace. It is about accessing the pure source of manifestation itself. Consider how often your desires become clouded by the noise of daily life. Countless thoughts compete for your attention, each one diluting the power of your intention. Yet when you learn to quiet this mental chaos, your focused thoughts gain remarkable clarity and strength. Mindfulness serves as your gateway to this state of powerful clarity. Through present moment awareness, you learn to observe your thoughts rather than being carried away by them. This simple shift transforms you from a leaf tossed in the mental stream to the steady riverbank observing its flow. In the bustling marketplace of a coastal city lived a merchant whose mind never knew rest. Day and night, worries about success and failure churned within him. Despite his clever strategies and endless planning, prosperity eluded him like a mirage. One day, overwhelmed by his racing thoughts, he retreated to a quiet grove by the sea. There, listening to the rhythmic waves, his mind began to still. In that silence, he discovered what countless calculations had failed to reveal: clarity of purpose, untangled from fear and doubt. Returning to his trade with this new inner quiet, he found his decisions flowing from a deeper wisdom. His business flourished not through more thinking, but through clearer thinking born of stillness. Now embrace the sacred stillness practice, handed down through countless generations. Find a comfortable position and close your eyes. Begin by simply noticing your breath, not changing it, just observing its natural rhythm. Feel the air entering and leaving your body. As thoughts arise, acknowledge them without judgment, then gently return your attention to your breath. Imagine each thought as a cloud passing through the vast sky of your awareness. Notice the spaces between your thoughts. These moments of stillness, however brief, are glimpses of your mind's natural clarity. As you practice, these spaces will gradually expand. Continue this observation for several minutes, allowing your mind to settle like a jar of muddy water becoming clear. In this stillness, your thoughts gain the power to shape reality with unprecedented clarity. Chapter 6. The Infinite Universe of Possibilities. In the ancient scrolls lies a tale of an explorer named Kairos, who wandered the forgotten paths of distant lands. While others clung to well-worn routes, Kairos believed every direction held untold wonders. Where fellow travelers saw impassable mountains, he discovered hidden valleys teeming with riches. When others turned back from forbidding deserts, he found oases of abundance. His greatest treasure was not gold or jewels, but the wisdom that every step forward revealed new possibilities. You too walk a path rich with infinite potential. The universe unfolds not as a single road, but as countless branches of possibility stretching endlessly before you. Each thought you hold shapes which paths become visible to your eyes. When you release the chains of limited thinking, doors previously invisible swing open before you. The universe responds not to what you think is possible, but to what you allow yourself to imagine. Your mind's capacity to envision new possibilities directly influences the opportunities that manifest in your life. Many walk through life wearing blinders of their own making, seeing only what they believe possible. Yet the truth whispered by sages through the ages remains. The universe knows no bounds except those you accept in your own mind. Consider the tale of the merchant Theron, who lived in a prosperous city by the sea. Each day, he walked the same path to his shop, conducted business in the same manner, and returned home believing his life could not be otherwise. Though opportunities for expansion presented themselves, he dismissed them, certain that his small shop was the extent of what he could achieve. One day, a storm forced Theron to take an unfamiliar route home. On this new path, he discovered markets he had never known existed, filled with exotic goods and eager customers. Still, he refused to adjust his beliefs, convincing himself that success in these new markets was impossible for someone like him. Years passed, and Theron's shop remained unchanged while the city grew around him. His rigid beliefs had become the walls of his own prison, keeping out the very prosperity he desired. Now embrace the infinite pathways practice, passed down from the ancient masters. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Take 3 deep breaths, allowing your mind to expand beyond its usual boundaries. On blank parchment, write down every dream that stirs your soul, no matter how grand or seemingly impossible. Let your imagination soar unfettered by doubts or practical concerns. For each dream you've written, close your eyes and envision 3 different paths to its fulfillment. See yourself achieving your desire through unexpected means, through surprising connections, through paths you've never before considered. As you imagine each path, feel the excitement of discovery, the joy of unexpected possibilities. Remember Kairos, who found abundance by believing in unlimited paths, and release the need to know exactly how your dreams will manifest. Practice this visualization daily, allowing new paths to reveal themselves in your mind's eye. The universe holds infinite ways to fulfill your desires. Your task is simply to remain open to receiving them all. Chapter 7. From Thought to Reality. In a time beyond memory, there lived an alchemist named Aureus who possessed no crucible of brass or iron tools. Instead, his laboratory existed within the chamber of his mind, where he transformed mere thoughts into tangible treasures. While others toiled with physical elements, Aureus understood that the greatest transmutation begins in the realm of pure thought. Through the art of focused contemplation, Aureus drew forth from the ethereal plane that which others claimed impossible. Where his fellow villagers saw barren fields, he envisioned golden wheat, and so it grew. When drought threatened the land, he held in his mind the image of flowing springs, and water burst forth from the earth. His greatest achievement was not in changing base metals to gold, but in revealing how thoughts, when properly crystallized, become physical reality. You possess this same alchemical power within your own mind. The process of manifestation follows immutable laws, as certain as the cycles of the moon. First comes the seed, the pure thought itself, held with unwavering clarity. Next flows the vital force of emotion, energizing the thought with the power of feeling. Then arrives the phase of gestation, where patience allows your creation to take form in the unseen realms. The final stage of manifestation requires your recognition of the signs and signals the universe provides, guiding you toward physical action. Like a master alchemist, you must learn to read these subtle indicators, understanding that each synchronicity moves you closer to your desired outcome. In the distant mountains lived a village leader named Cyrus, blessed with visions of prosperity for his people. He saw great bridges spanning treacherous ravines, abundant gardens where rocks once lay, and children learning wisdom from far-traveling teachers. Yet doubt clouded his inner sight, and he kept these visions to himself. Each night the visions returned stronger until Cyrus could no longer ignore their persistence. Though his logical mind argued against possibility, he began sharing these visions with his people. To his amazement, a master bridge builder arrived seeking work. Then came gardeners with knowledge of growing food in rocky soil. Teachers appeared, drawn by an inexplicable urge to visit the remote village. Cyrus witnessed how his thoughts, once released into the world, attracted the very elements needed for their realization. His doubt transformed into understanding as each vision materialized before his eyes. Now, embrace the manifestation mapping practice, a technique passed down through generations of thought alchemists. Obtain a journal reserved solely for this sacred purpose. Each evening, write down one predominant thought that occupied your mind that day. Beneath it, list 3 small, practical actions that could give this thought physical form. For example, if your thought concerns abundance, your actions might include organizing your current resources, learning a valuable skill, or connecting with someone in your desired field. If your thought revolves around health, your actions could involve preparing a nourishing meal, taking a mindful walk, or creating a restful sleeping space. Continue this practice for 7 days, watching how your thoughts naturally guide you toward relevant actions. Like Arius the alchemist, you will discover that every physical manifestation begins with a single focused thought. Like Cyrus, you will learn to trust the process of transformation, even when the final form remains unclear. Chapter 8. Overcoming Mental Blocks. In the ancient kingdom of Kazan lived a warrior named Tarek, renowned not for the enemies he conquered on the battlefield, but for the demons he vanquished within his own mind. Each morning, as the sun cast its first rays across the temple steps, Tarek would stand before his reflection in a pool of still water, confronting the whispers of doubt that echoed through his thoughts. You, like Tarek, carry within you both the warrior and the whispers. These doubts are not your true nature, but shadows cast by past experiences, inherited beliefs, and fears passed down through generations. They appear as thoughts that begin with, "I can't," "I'm not worthy," or "it's impossible." Yet these barriers exist only in the mind, as insubstantial as morning mist before the rising sun. The origin of these mental barriers lies in the stories you have accepted as truth. Each time you embraced another's limitation as your own, each moment you turned away from your power, these barriers grew stronger. But just as water flowing persistently carves through stone, your conscious awareness can dissolve these mental obstacles. Through the practice of self-reflection, you begin to recognize these thoughts not as absolute truths, but as learned responses. By questioning their validity, their power diminishes. Each time you challenge a limiting belief, you weaken its hold on your consciousness. Like Tarek standing before the pool, you must face these thoughts with courage, understanding that they hold no power except that which you grant them. In the Valley of Artisans lived a craftsman named Mira, whose hands trembled at the thought of creating the masterpiece she envisioned. Fear of imperfection kept her tools untouched, her materials gathering dust. For years, she lived in the shadow of her own potential, believing herself unworthy of attempting greatness. One day, while watching children play with clay, forming imperfect but joyful creations, something awakened within her. She realized that her fear of failure had become a greater burden than any failure itself could be. With trembling hands, she began to work, allowing herself to create without judgment. As each piece emerged from her hands, Mira's confidence grew. The very act of creating, despite her fears, transformed her relationship with doubt. Her work, infused with authenticity born from overcoming her inner barriers, touched hearts and inspired others who recognized their own struggles in her journey. Now embrace the belief transformation practice, an ancient method for dissolving mental barriers. Take 3 sheets of parchment. On the first, write down every limiting belief that rises to your consciousness. Let them flow without censorship or judgment. These might include thoughts about your capabilities, your worthiness, or your potential for success. On the second sheet, examine each belief's origin. When did you first accept this as truth? Whose voice do you hear speaking these limitations? On the final sheet, transform each limiting belief into its empowering opposite. I am not talented enough becomes, I am constantly growing and developing my talents. Success is for others, transforms into I am worthy and capable of extraordinary success. Keep these sheets as a sacred record of your transformation, returning to them whenever doubt appears, remembering that like Tarek and Mira, your greatest victories await beyond the veil of fear. Chapter 9. Visualization as a creative tool. In the distant realm of Avalara, there lived a painter named Maya, whose brushstrokes carried the power to bridge dreams and reality. Each morning she would sit before her blank canvas, close her eyes, and allow visions to fill her mind with crystalline clarity. As she painted, these visions flowed through her brush, and in time the world around her transformed to match the scenes she had created. You possess this same creative force within you. The images you hold in your mind are the templates from which your reality is fashioned. Just as Maya's brush translated her inner visions into physical form, your thoughts shape the canvas of your existence with equal precision. The power of visualization lies not in mere wishful thinking, but in the ability to create detailed mental impressions that engage all your senses. When you form an image in your mind with such clarity that you can feel its texture, hear its sounds, and experience its emotions, you forge a bridge between the intangible and the tangible. This principle manifests through the natural law of resonance. As you hold these vivid images within your consciousness, you attune yourself to their frequency. The universe, ever responsive to this resonance, begins orchestrating circumstances to match your internal vision. In another part of Avalara lived Marcus, a sculptor who worked only with what his physical eyes could see. His hands moved skillfully across stone and clay, yet his creations never surpassed the ordinary. While others marveled at Maya's ability to bring forth new realities, Marcus remained bound by the limitations of his current circumstances, never daring to envision beyond what already existed. His works, though technically precise, lacked the transformative power that comes from reaching beyond the visible world into the realm of possibility. Marcus's story teaches us that technical skill alone cannot unlock the full potential of creation. It must be paired with the courage to envision what could be. Bring your focus now to the ancient visualization practice. Find a quiet space where you will remain undisturbed. Sit comfortably and close your eyes, allowing your breath to become steady and deep. Begin to construct your desired reality in your mind's eye. See yourself having already achieved your goal. Notice every detail, the colors, the textures, the sounds that surround you. If it is a new home you desire, walk through each room. Feel the surfaces beneath your fingers. Hear the sounds of life within its walls. Experience the emotions that come with this achievement. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the sense of accomplishment as though it were already yours. Let these feelings fill your entire being. Maintain this vision for several minutes, allowing it to become more vivid and real with each passing moment. As you open your eyes, carry this feeling with you throughout your day. Practice this visualization each morning and evening, knowing that with each session, you strengthen the bridge between your inner vision and its physical manifestation. Chapter 10. Tuning In. In the heart of an ancient valley dwelt a musician named Kai, whose melodies held a secret power. Unlike other musicians who merely played notes, Kai understood that true music arose from aligning himself with the vibrations of the universe itself. Each morning he would sit in silence, allowing his inner rhythm to synchronize with the cosmic symphony around him. When he finally lifted his instrument to play, the sounds that emerged were not just music, they were pure manifestation of universal harmony. You too are an instrument of creation, capable of tuning yourself to the frequencies of your desires. Just as Kai discovered that forcing music created discord, while alignment brought forth effortless beauty, your path to manifestation flows naturally when you match the vibration of what you seek. The universe operates through frequencies of energy. Every desire you hold exists at a specific vibrational level. Abundance vibrates at the frequency of gratitude. Love resonates with acceptance. Success harmonizes with confidence. When you align your own energy with these frequencies, you become a natural match for their physical expression. This alignment occurs not through striving or struggle, but through the gentle art of becoming. Just as a tuning fork naturally vibrates in harmony with its matching tone, you naturally attract your desires when your energy matches their frequency. Consider now the tale of Wei, a traveler who lost his way in the vast desert. For days he wandered, following external signs and markers, each step taking him further from his destination. Exhausted and desperate, he finally stopped his frantic searching and sat in stillness. In that moment of surrender, he felt a subtle pull within his heart, an inner compass that had always been present but went unnoticed in his outer seeking. Wei realized that home was not just a physical location but a frequency, a feeling of belonging. As he allowed himself to embody that feeling, his steps naturally began to align with his destination. Without forcing or struggling, he found himself drawn back to his village as effortlessly as water flowing downstream. Now I have for you the ancient practice of vibrational alignment. Begin by sitting quietly, breathing deeply. Bring to mind something that fills you with pure gratitude. Perhaps it's the warmth of sunlight on your face, the sound of children's laughter, or the simple miracle of your own breath. Allow this feeling of gratitude to expand within you. Notice how it naturally raises your energy to a higher frequency. Now introduce the feeling of love, not directed at anything specific, but as a pure vibration of appreciation and acceptance. Add to this the light, expansive energy of joy. Feel how these high vibrational emotions begin to harmonize within you, creating a natural state of abundance and allowing. From this elevated state, bring forth the image of your desire. Notice how it feels more accessible, more natural when approached from this higher frequency. Remain in this state for several minutes. allowing yourself to become a vibrational match for what you seek. Practice this alignment daily, understanding that manifestation becomes effortless when you maintain the frequency of your desires. Part 1. Deepening practice and aligning with success. Chapter 11. The Law of Assumption. In the kingdom of Aldara, a young prince named Theron faced an unexpected challenge. His father, the king, had fallen ill, leaving the realm without clear leadership. Though not yet crowned, Theron understood a truth that would transform not only his fate but the kingdom's destiny. Rather than waiting for the formal ceremony, Theron began carrying himself with the dignity and wisdom of a king. He sat upon the throne during morning councils, spoke with the measured voice of a ruler, and made decisions with unwavering certainty. Those around him noticed the shift. His presence commanded respect not through force, but through the natural authority that emanated from his being. Within days, the kingdom responded to this new energy. The court began addressing him as though he were already king, and the people naturally turned to him for guidance. By assuming the state of kingship before the crown touched his head, Theron had altered the very fabric of reality around him. You possess this same power to reshape your world through the art of assumption. When you fully embody the state of your desired reality, the universe conspires to match your inner experience. This is not mere pretense. It is the activation of a universal law that responds to your dominant state of being. To assume a state is to occupy it completely in your consciousness. You need not wait for external circumstances to grant you permission. Like Theron, you can step into your desired reality now, allowing your thoughts, feelings, and actions to flow naturally from this new state of being. Consider the tale of Maya, a farmer whose fields lay barren after years of drought. While others despaired, Maya discovered the secret of assumption. Each morning, she walked her land as though it were already abundant with crops. She spoke of her farm's prosperity as a present reality, planned for the harvest as if it were inevitable, and carried herself with the quiet confidence of a successful farmer. She kept seeds ready for planting, prepared her storage bins, and arranged agreements with merchants, all before the first rain fell. Those who observed her thought she had lost her mind, but Maya understood that she was aligning herself with the reality she wished to experience. When the rains finally came, Maya's prepared fields flourished beyond all others. Her assumption had created a channel through which abundance could flow naturally into her experience. The ancient practice of living from the end. Choose a quiet moment to begin this transformative practice. Close your eyes and step fully into the reality where your desire has already manifested. How do you carry yourself in this realized state? What thoughts naturally occupy your mind? How do you speak? What daily actions flow from this achieved position? Now bring this assumed state into your daily activities. If wealth is your desire, walk through your day with the quiet confidence of abundance. If it is health you seek, move with the vitality of one who is wholly well. If recognition calls to you, carry yourself with the grace of one whose achievements are already celebrated. Let every action, word, and thought spring naturally from your assumed state. When you write, sign your name with the authority of who you have become. When you speak, let your voice carry the assurance of one who dwells in the reality you desire. This is not a practice of pretense, but of prophecy, for what you assume with unwavering faith must, by universal law, find expression in your outer world. Chapter 12. Gratitude as a magnet for abundance. In the ancient city of Kairos there lived a beggar named Adrian, who owned nothing but the threadbare clothes upon his back. Yet each morning, as the sun's first rays touched the cobblestone streets, Adrian would bow his head and whisper words of thanks for the warmth of sunlight, for the breath in his lungs, for the simple gift of existence. Those who passed him daily noticed something peculiar. While other beggars grew bitter and desperate, Adrian's eyes sparkled with an inner light. His genuine appreciation for the smallest gifts drew others to him. First came the children, enchanted by his joyful stories of sunrise and birdsong. Then came the merchants, touched by his sincere gratitude for even the smallest copper coin. As seasons turned, people began seeking Adrian not for his need, but for his wisdom. They discovered that in his presence, their own burdens felt lighter, their own blessings more apparent. Without seeking to teach, he had become a teacher, transforming lives through the simple practice of gratitude. You too hold this power of transformation through thankfulness. When you cultivate genuine gratitude, you align yourself with the abundant nature of the universe. Each moment of appreciation creates a magnetic force that draws more blessings into your experience. This is not mere positive thinking, it is a fundamental law of energy. What you appreciate, appreciates. The vibration of genuine thankfulness resonates with the frequency of abundance, creating a natural flow of prosperity into your life. In the village of Verdant Vale lived two men who illustrated this truth. Marcus the miser possessed great wealth, but lived in constant fear of loss. He hoarded his gold, cursed his expenses, and saw only lack in a world of plenty. Though his coffers were full, his life remained empty of joy. In contrast, Thomas, a simple villager, began and ended each day by counting his blessings. He gave thanks for his modest home, for the vegetables in his garden, for the laughter of his neighbors. Though he owned far less than Marcus, his heart overflowed with abundance. People were drawn to his warmth, sharing their own gifts freely. His garden flourished, his relationships deepened, and his simple life grew rich with meaning. The ancient practice of gratitude. Take a moment each day to record 3 specific things for which you feel genuine thankfulness. Let your appreciation flow naturally, whether for grand achievements or simple pleasures. Write not just what you are grateful for, but why it touches your heart. As you write, allow yourself to fully experience the feeling of appreciation. Notice how your energy shifts, how your perspective broadens, how your heart opens to receive more of life's gifts. This practice, passed down through generations of wisdom keepers, creates a bridge between your current circumstances and the abundance that awaits. Through consistent gratitude, you establish a channel through which the universe can pour its endless blessings. Chapter 13. Harnessing Focus and Intention. In the sacred mountains of the East, a monk named Shen wandered from temple to temple, seeking the path to enlightenment. Though he studied countless texts and practiced numerous rituals, true wisdom eluded him. Each new teaching pulled his attention in a different direction, scattering his energy like leaves in the wind. One day, exhausted from his endless searching, Shen sat beneath an ancient cedar tree. As snow fell softly around him, he noticed how each snowflake followed its perfect path to the earth, unwavering in its descent. In that moment, he understood. The power lay not in knowing many paths, but in walking one path with complete devotion. For 40 days and 40 nights, Shen remained beneath that cedar, focusing solely on the eternal present. His mind, once scattered like the snowflakes, became still as a mountain lake. Through this unwavering focus, the veils of illusion lifted, revealing the truth he had always sought. You possess this same capacity for transformation through focused thought. When you direct your mental energy toward a single point, like sunlight through a magnifying glass, it becomes powerful enough to ignite change in the material world. This is the hidden mechanism behind every great achievement in human history. Your thoughts are streams of energy, and like any energy, they follow the path of least resistance. When scattered, they create ripples too weak to manifest change. But when channeled with purpose and focus, they carve new channels in reality itself. The merchant Li Wei learned this truth through bitter experience. His shop offered silks, spices, pottery, and precious stones, each new opportunity drawing his attention from the last. Though he worked from dawn until dusk, success remained elusive. His scattered focus led to scattered results, until his business teetered on the edge of ruin. In his darkest hour, Li Wei met a wise woman who shared the secret of the focused mind. "Choose one path," she advised, "and pour all your energy into it, like a river flowing to the sea." Following her counsel, Li Wei sold all his wares except his finest silks. Every thought, every action, every moment became devoted to becoming the finest silk merchant in the province. Within a year, his focused dedication transformed his small shop into a thriving enterprise. The ancient practice of the focus hour. Set aside one sacred hour each day for concentrated focus on your primary goal. Choose a time when your energy is highest and your mind is clearest. During this hour, eliminate all distractions. No interruptions, no wandering thoughts. Begin by clearly visualizing your goal as if it were already achieved. Feel its reality in every cell of your body. Then, with this vision held firmly in mind, plan the next steps on your path. Write them down with unwavering attention, letting each word strengthen your resolve. This practice, handed down through generations of masters, harnesses the raw power of focused thought. Through daily dedication to this ritual, you forge a direct channel between your inner vision and its outer manifestation. Chapter 14, The Energetic Flow of Giving and Receiving. In the valleys of an ancient kingdom flowed a sacred river, home to a spirit whose waters brought life to all they touched. Those who lived along its banks told of how the spirit's essence would dim when the waters grew stagnant, but shine with radiant light when allowed to flow freely, giving and receiving in eternal motion. You hold within you this same divine principle of flow. Just as water must both give and receive to maintain its life-giving properties, your energy must move in this sacred dance of exchange. When you grasp too tightly, clutching at abundance, you create resistance that blocks its natural circulation. The universe operates through continuous exchange. Every breath you take demonstrates this truth. The inhale must be matched by the exhale, each giving making way for receiving. This law governs all forms of abundance, from material wealth to love, knowledge, and joy. In the kingdom of Aldor lived two men whose lives illustrated this eternal truth. The first was King Midas, who believed abundance came through possession alone. He filled his vaults with gold, hoarding every coin and refusing to let wealth flow outward. Though surrounded by riches, his kingdom withered, and his own heart grew as cold as the metal he cherished. In the same kingdom lived a humble healer named Sarin. Though he owned little, he freely shared his knowledge, herbs, and healing touch with all who sought his aid. He never demanded payment, yet abundance flowed to him naturally. His garden flourished, his home was filled with gifts from grateful patients, and his life overflowed with joy. What Sarin understood, and the king did not, was that abundance multiplies through circulation. Every act of giving creates space for receiving, like a vessel that must be emptied before it can be filled anew. This is not mere metaphor, but a fundamental law of energy. When you grasp at abundance, trying to hold it still, you create resistance that blocks its natural flow. But when you give freely, without attachment to return, you align yourself with the universe's natural rhythm of exchange, the ancient practice of sacred giving. Each day for the next 7 days, perform one act of genuine giving without any expectation of return. This might be offering your time to someone in need, sharing knowledge or skills you possess, or giving material aid where it will truly make a difference. As you give, maintain complete presence in the act itself, releasing all thought of reward or recognition. Notice how this pure giving creates a subtle shift in your energy, opening new channels for abundance to flow into your life. After each act of giving, sit quietly and observe the sensations in your body and the quality of your thoughts. You may notice a lightness, an expansion, or a sense of connection to the greater flow of life. This is the essence of abundance beginning to circulate more freely through your being. Record these experiences in your journal, noting not just what you gave, but how the act of giving transformed your inner state. Through this practice, you will discover that true abundance lies not in what you possess, but in your capacity to participate in life's eternal flow of giving and receiving. Chapter 15. Reframing Failure and Fear. In the age of swords and honor lived a knight named Aldrich, whose tale echoes through time. Though skilled with blade and shield, Aldrich faced defeat after defeat in tournaments and battles. Each loss weighed heavily upon his spirit until a mysterious elder warrior shared a truth that would transform his path. "Your defeats are not endings," the elder said, "but signposts on the road to mastery. Each blow that strikes you down carries wisdom waiting to be unveiled." Taking these words to heart, Aldrich began studying his defeats instead of hiding from them. Every loss revealed a weakness to strengthen. Every failure illuminated a new technique to master. Through this perspective, his defeats became his greatest teachers, forging him into an undefeated champion. You stand now where Aldrich once stood, facing what appears to be failure, yet surrounded by hidden wisdom. Each setback you encounter serves as a divine messenger, carrying lessons essential for your growth. What you perceive as defeat merely signals the universe's way of redirecting your path toward greater achievement. Fear itself transforms into an ally when you understand its true nature. It points toward the very areas where growth awaits, highlighting the boundaries you must transcend to reach your highest potential. Your fears mark the threshold of your transformation. In a distant village lived a potter named Maya, whose hands created vessels of remarkable beauty. One day, an earthquake shattered her entire collection, the work of years, reduced to fragments. Instead of surrendering to despair, Maya gathered the broken pieces and began arranging them in new patterns. She discovered that these fragments, when combined with vision and patience, formed mosaics more stunning than her original works. Her disaster became the catalyst for an entirely new art form that brought her greater recognition than she had ever known. Like Maya, you possess the power to transform apparent destruction into creation. Every shattered dream contains within it the raw material for something even more magnificent. The key lies not in avoiding failure, but in recognizing it as the foundation for future triumph. The ancient practice of transformative reflection. Take your journal and create 2 columns. In the first, list what you have previously labeled as failures in your life. Be thorough and honest, acknowledging each experience that brought pain or disappointment. In the second column, examine each failure with new eyes. What wisdom did this experience impart? What strengths did it develop within you? What doors opened because others closed? Write down every lesson, insight, and growth that emerged from these experiences. As you complete this exercise, notice how these moments of apparent defeat were actually crossroads of transformation. Feel how the energy around these memories shifts as you recognize their role in shaping your journey. Finally, select 3 key lessons from your reflection and write them as powerful affirmations. These will serve as reminders that every challenge carries within it the seed of greater achievement. Chapter 16. Inspired Action versus Forced Effort. In a coastal village where waves whispered ancient secrets, there lived a fisherman named Kai. While others battled the sea with great nets and mighty boats, Kai listened to the subtle voice of the water. Each morning as dawn painted the horizon, he would close his eyes and attune himself to the ocean's rhythm. "Cast here," the waters would whisper, and Kai would follow, his small boat gliding to spots where fish gathered abundantly. Other fishermen watched in wonder as his modest vessel returned laden with catch after catch, while their larger boats often came back nearly empty. The ocean speaks to all, but few learn to listen. Like Kai, you possess an inner compass that guides you toward effortless achievement. When you align with this intuitive wisdom, doors open without struggle and opportunities appear as naturally as waves reaching shore. The difference between forced action and inspired action lies in its origin. Forced action springs from fear, doubt, or external pressure. It feels heavy, draining your energy while yielding minimal results. Inspired action flows from inner knowing, carrying you forward with grace and ease. It energizes rather than depletes, creating ripples of positive change that extend far beyond your initial movement. Trust that when you quiet your mind and open your heart, the universe reveals your next step. This guidance may come as a gentle nudge, a recurring thought, or a feeling of rightness that cannot be explained through logic alone. Your task is not to force outcomes, but to remain receptive to these divine promptings. In the mountains dwelt a sculptor named Sarah, whose most magnificent works drew pilgrims from distant lands. Unlike artisans who carved according to rigid plans, Sarah waited for moments of pure inspiration. When these moments came, her hands moved as if guided by an unseen force, revealing forms of such beauty that they seemed to emerge from the stone itself. "The statue already exists within the marble," she would say. "I simply follow the whispers that show me where to chisel." Those who witnessed her work noticed that during these inspired moments, time seemed to flow differently. Hours passed like minutes as creation poured through her, unhindered by doubt or resistance. Her greatest masterpieces emerged not from struggle but from surrender to this creative force. The ancient practice of inspired action. Begin each morning with a moment of stillness. Close your eyes and ask the universe to guide your actions throughout the day. Pay attention to subtle feelings, recurring thoughts, or unexpected ideas that arise. Keep a small notebook with you to record these intuitive nudges as they appear. Each day, choose at least one of these inspirations and act upon it, no matter how small it may seem. Notice how taking action from this inspired place feels different from acting out of obligation or fear. In your evening reflection, document the results of following these intuitive prompts. What doors opened? What synchronicities occurred? How did the energy of your day flow when you followed inspiration rather than force? Chapter 17. The Power of Affirmations. In a secluded valley where ancient pines whispered secrets of transformation, lived a hermit named Tao. Each dawn, he would climb to a sacred outcropping and speak words that echoed through the mountains. I am one with universal wisdom. Through me flows infinite abundance. My words shape reality. At first, the villagers below dismissed his practices as mere eccentricity. Yet as seasons passed, they witnessed his humble dwelling transform into a sanctuary of peace and plenty. Gardens flourished where nothing had grown before, and those who sought his counsel found themselves transformed by the mere power of his presence. You hold within your voice the same creative force that transformed Tao's valley. Every word you speak carries energy that shapes your reality. These are not mere sounds, but vibrations that ripple through the fabric of existence, programming your subconscious mind and attracting corresponding experiences. When you declare truth with conviction, the universe responds. Your words become seeds planted in fertile soil, growing into the very reality you proclaim. This is why masters throughout the ages have taught the sacred practice of speaking with purpose and power. The key lies not in mere repetition, but in feeling the truth of your words as you speak them. Each affirmation must resonate with your being, carrying the energy of absolute certainty. As you speak, imagine these words creating waves of energy that transform your inner and outer world. In the bustling marketplace of Isfahan, a merchant named Karim struggled daily with his inner dialogue. Nothing ever works in my favor, he would mutter, watching others prosper, while his own fortunes dwindled. One day, a wise woman overheard his self-talk and shared an ancient secret. Your words weave your destiny. Change them, and you change your life. Karim began transforming his negative statements into declarations of power. I attract abundance effortlessly, replaced his complaints of lack. Opportunities flow to me naturally, became his morning mantra. Within months, his shop flourished, and customers spoke of the unusual sense of prosperity that surrounded his business. The practice of sacred speech. Choose 3 areas of your life ready for transformation. For each, craft an affirmation that speaks to your highest truth. Remember these guidelines. Speak in present tense, as if your desire already exists. Use positive words, avoiding negatives like don't or won't. Infuse each statement with feeling and conviction. Each morning and evening, stand before a mirror. Look into your eyes and speak your affirmations with absolute certainty. Feel the truth of each word resonating through your being. Let your voice carry the power of unwavering belief. For example, I am a magnet for abundance and prosperity. Divine wisdom guides my every decision. Love and joy flow through me, blessing all I encounter. As you practice, notice how your energy shifts with each declaration. These are not mere words, but keys unlocking the infinite potential within you. Chapter 18, Shifting Perspectives. In a distant mountain village lived a traveler who journeyed with a blindfold, believing it protected him from the harsh realities of the world. Each step he took was careful, measured, guided by what he thought was wisdom. Yet his chosen darkness led him to stumble, missing the beauty and opportunities that surrounded him. One day, a gentle wind carried away his blindfold while he rested beneath an ancient tree. As his eyes adjusted to the light, he witnessed not the fearsome world he had imagined, but a path rich with possibilities he had never conceived. The very obstacles he had feared became stepping stones leading to new horizons. You, like this traveler, may wear invisible blindfolds, perspectives that limit your view of what is possible. These self-imposed restrictions shape your reality more powerfully than any external circumstance. Yet, just as the traveler discovered, A shift in perspective can reveal a world of unlimited potential. Your thoughts create filters through which you perceive reality. When you view life through the lens of limitation, circumstances appear restricted. But when you choose to see through the eyes of possibility, new paths emerge that were always present, waiting to be discovered. This truth reveals itself in the tale of Ming, a craftsman renowned for his unusual approach to his work. While others remained fixed in their positions, Ming would circle his creations, viewing them from every conceivable angle. He would climb ladders to look down upon his work, lie on the ground to gaze upward, and even observe his pieces in mirrors to see them reversed. One day, fellow craftsmen questioned his methods. Ming smiled and said, "The truth of any creation reveals itself only when viewed from all sides. What appears flawed from one angle shows its perfection from another. So it is with life's challenges. Their solutions often hide in plain sight, waiting for us to shift our perspective." Through his wisdom, Ming created works of such profound beauty that they seemed to transform before viewers' eyes, revealing new aspects with each glance. His secret lay not in superior skill, but in his willingness to challenge his initial perceptions and remain open to new viewpoints. The practice of perspective transformation. Select a challenge that has persisted in your life. On a blank page, write this challenge at the center. Now imagine viewing this situation from different vantage points. From high above, as though you were a bird soaring over your life. Through the eyes of your wisest self 20 years in the future, as if this challenge were actually a hidden opportunity. From the perspective of someone who has already overcome a similar situation. For each viewpoint, record the insights that emerge. Notice how the nature of your challenge shifts as you examine it from these various angles. Select the perspective that fills you with the greatest sense of possibility and power. Carry this new viewpoint with you for the next 7 days. When thoughts of your challenge arise, consciously shift to this empowering perspective. Watch how this transformation in your perception begins to alter your reality. Chapter 19. The Role of Joy and Playfulness. In a sun-dappled garden, a child named Maya played with pebbles, arranging them in spiraling patterns while humming softly to herself. As she placed each stone with pure delight, remarkable things began to unfold. Butterflies gathered around her creations, flowers bloomed out of season, and villagers found themselves drawn to her joyful presence. Without knowing the power she wielded, Maya's playful spirit attracted wonders that the wisest in her village had long sought. You possess this same natural ability to manifest through joy. Like Maya, your innate power flows most freely when you approach life with wonder and delight. The universe responds not to forced effort, but to the light-hearted energy of play. When you release the weight of seriousness that society has placed upon your shoulders, you align with the natural flow of creation. Joy is not merely an emotion. It is a force that elevates your vibrational frequency, making you magnetic to your desires. Consider how children manifest their wishes with remarkable ease. They do not doubt, strategize, or worry about the how. They simply play in the direction of their dreams, and the universe conspires to bring their imaginings to life. This innocent wisdom holds the key to effortless manifestation, yet many have forgotten this truth, as illustrated by the tale of Master Chen, a renowned scholar who devoted his life to studying the principles of success. In his library of ancient scrolls and profound teachings, Chen sought the secret of manifestation through rigid discipline and solemn dedication. Year after year, Chen grew more knowledgeable, yet his desires remained elusive. His garden withered from neglect as he pored over texts. His relationships became distant as he isolated himself in study. Though he knew every principle of manifestation, his joyless pursuit created resistance that kept his dreams at bay. One morning, watching Maya play in her garden, Chen witnessed the magic that flowed through her innocent joy. In that moment, he understood what all his scrolls had failed to teach: that the universe responds not to the weight of knowledge, but to the lightness of being. The practice of joyful creation. Set aside time today for pure play. Choose an activity that awakens childlike wonder in your heart, perhaps drawing with colored pencils, dancing to music that moves you, or creating something with your hands. The only rule is that it must bring you genuine joy. As you engage in this play, notice how your energy shifts. Feel how your body relaxes, how your mind becomes clear, how possibilities seem to expand. This state of joyful creation is your natural way of being, and within it lies your greatest manifestation power. Observe how this elevated vibration affects the events that follow. Watch for synchronicities, unexpected opportunities, and effortless solutions that arise from your playful state. Through this practice, you'll rediscover that joy is not just a result of manifestation. It is the very pathway through which your desires flow into reality. Chapter 20. Inner Harmony and Self-Love. In a mountain temple weathered by time, there lived a sage named Kiro, who spent his days serving others while harboring deep self-judgment. Though he offered wisdom to all who sought his counsel, his own heart remained closed to acceptance. Each morning he would gaze at his reflection in a sacred pool, seeing only flaws and inadequacies. Through your own journey, you may recognize this pattern: the tendency to extend compassion to others while withholding it from yourself. Like Cairo, you possess gifts that touch countless lives, yet perhaps struggle to acknowledge your own divine worth. As the seasons turned, Kiro received a vision that transformed his understanding. In the depths of meditation, he witnessed the universe's perspective of his being, a luminous soul, perfect in its entirety, whose perceived flaws were but facets of divine expression. This revelation awakened him to a profound truth: self-love is not vanity, but alignment with universal law. As Cairo embraced self-acceptance, remarkable changes manifested in his life. The temple gardens bloomed with unprecedented vigor. Pilgrims arrived bearing exactly what the temple needed, and his teachings touched hearts with new depth. His inner abundance reflected outward, creating a field of prosperity that blessed all who entered his presence. The universe responds not to your outer actions, but to your inner relationship with yourself. When you stand before the mirror of life and finally see your reflection through eyes of love, you align with the natural flow of abundance. Consider now the tale of King Aldrich, whose self-loathing cast a shadow over his prosperous kingdom. Though his realm overflowed with riches, his harsh self-judgment created a frequency of lack that gradually diminished his land's vitality. His gardens withered, his subjects grew ill, and joy fled from his courts. Until one day a wise woman offered him a simple truth: your kingdom reflects your inner kingdom. As you learn to love yourself, your realm will flourish. Initially dismissing her words, Aldrich eventually recognized the wisdom they held. As he cultivated self-compassion, his kingdom transformed, the land renewed itself, his people thrived, and abundance flowed naturally once more. The practice of self-love. Stand before a mirror in solitude. Gaze into your own eyes with gentle attention. Speak these words with sincere feeling. I love and accept myself completely. I am worthy of all good things. The universe delights in fulfilling my desires. Continue this practice for several minutes, allowing yourself to feel the truth of these statements. If resistance arises, observe it with compassion. Remember that self-acceptance includes accepting the parts of you that struggle with acceptance. Complete this ritual by placing your hand over your heart and simply breathing in the energy of self-love. This practice, performed daily, will gradually shift your vibration to one that naturally attracts abundance. Part 3. Mastering Effortless Manifestation. Chapter 21. Mastering Mindful Awareness. In the ancient forests of the East lived a hunter named Jin, whose footsteps whispered secrets to the wind. Unlike others who charged through the wilderness with determination alone, Jin understood that true mastery required becoming one with the present moment. You possess this same innate ability to merge with the now, to inhabit each breath as it flows through your being. Like Jin, your journey begins with awareness. Through years of practice, Jin learned to attune his senses to the forest's subtle rhythms. He noticed how leaves danced before a deer appeared, how silence spoke volumes about approaching storms, and how his own thoughts could either sharpen or dull his perception. His awareness transformed him from a mere hunter into a living extension of the forest itself. The universe speaks constantly through the language of the present moment. Each breath offers an opportunity to align with its wisdom. Your thoughts, like ripples on a pond, create patterns that extend far beyond their origin, but only when you remain conscious of their movement. Jin's success came not from forcing outcomes, but from his ability to maintain unwavering presence. Through this presence, he could direct his energy with precision, knowing exactly when to move and when to remain still. His thoughts, clear and focused, became arrows of intention that rarely missed their mark. Consider now the tale of Wei, a villager whose mind constantly wandered between past regrets and future fears. His gardens yielded poor harvests. His relationships suffered, and peace eluded him. Each day he rushed through tasks without truly experiencing them, missing the subtle guidance that presence provides. A chance encounter with a traveling monk revealed to Wei the power of presence. Your life unfolds only in this moment, the monk shared. When your mind dwells elsewhere, you scatter your creative force to the winds. Taking these words to heart, Wei began bringing his full attention to each task. As his presence deepened, his garden flourished, his relationships healed, and abundance flowed naturally into his life. His thoughts, no longer scattered, became powerful tools for manifestation. The practice of presence. Choose 3 daily activities, perhaps preparing food, walking, or washing your hands. During these moments, bring your complete attention to the experience. Notice the sensations, the sounds, the thoughts that arise. As thoughts emerge, observe them without judgment. Feel their energy, their intention, their potential for creation. Notice how your awareness itself begins to shape their direction. Maintain this practice for several minutes during each chosen activity. Allow yourself to fully inhabit the present moment, recognizing it as the point of power where all manifestation begins. Through this simple yet profound practice, you will develop the ability to direct your thoughts with greater precision, harnessing their creative force with the same mastery that Jin brought to his forest wanderings. Chapter 22. Creating a Reality Manifesting Routine. In the mountains of the ancient East lived an elder named Jen, whose daily rituals transformed not only his own life but the destiny of his entire village. Each morning, as the first light touched the mountain peaks, Jen would emerge from his dwelling to perform a sequence of sacred practices that aligned his spirit with the universe's abundance. You hold within you this same capacity for transformation through devoted practice. Like the steady flow of water that carves valleys through mountains, your consistent spiritual practice shapes the landscape of your reality. The power of ritual lies not in grandiose gestures, but in the quiet dedication to daily practice. Through his morning ritual, Jen demonstrated how small, consistent actions create mighty changes. As villagers witnessed his unwavering commitment, they began to understand that transformation follows devotion. Your thoughts gain momentum through repetition, much as a musician's fingers learn to dance across strings through daily practice. Each morning presents an opportunity to direct this momentum toward your highest aspirations. The villagers noticed how Jen's garden flourished beyond measure, how his counsel grew more profound, and how fortune seemed to flow naturally in his direction. When asked about his secret, he would simply smile and say, "What you do daily becomes your destiny." Now turn your attention to the tale of Ming, a young craftsman who dreamed of creating the finest pottery in all the land. Initially, Ming worked sporadically, waiting for inspiration to strike. His creations, while showing promise, lacked the excellence he envisioned. One day, observing Jen's morning ritual, Ming understood the power of consistency. He established his own daily practice, arriving at his wheel before dawn, centering himself in gratitude, visualizing his intended creations, and working with focused intention. As seasons passed, Ming's dedication bore fruit. His pottery transformed from simple vessels into works of art that captured the very essence of beauty. The secret lay not in any single day's work, but in the accumulated power of his daily devotion. The Sacred Morning Practice. Create your own ritual of manifestation by following these ancient steps. Begin at the same time each day, preferably as the sun rises. Find a quiet space where you can remain undisturbed. First, enter a state of gratitude by acknowledging 3 blessings in your life. Feel the warmth of appreciation filling your being. Next, speak your chosen affirmations aloud 3 times, infusing each word with conviction and feeling. Then, close your eyes and visualize your desires as already manifest. Experience the emotions, sensations, and joy of their fulfillment. Finally, identify and commit to one inspired action that will move you closer to your vision. This practice, performed with dedication each day, becomes a powerful force for transformation in your life. Like Jen and Ming, you will discover that consistency creates miracles. Chapter 23. The Mirror of the Universe. In the ancient kingdom of Xiang, there existed a mirror unlike any other. This mirror, housed in a temple atop the highest mountain, showed not mere physical reflections, but revealed the deepest truths within those who gazed upon it. Those who approached with hearts full of fear saw their terrors manifested. Those who came with love beheld infinite beauty. You stand now before your own mirror, the mirror of life itself. Every circumstance you encounter, every situation you face, reflects back the contents of your inner world with perfect accuracy. The universe operates through this profound principle. Your outer world mirrors your inner state. When you understand this truth, you hold the key to transforming your entire existence. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions create ripples that return to you as the experiences you call reality. Consider how water takes the shape of its container. Similarly, your life experiences conform to the container of your consciousness. When you shift your internal landscape, the external must follow, for this is the law of reflection. Many seek to change their circumstances while maintaining the same internal state, much like attempting to alter a reflection by manipulating the mirror. True transformation occurs only when you change what is being reflected. Your beliefs act as filters through which you perceive and create your reality. When you believe in lack, the mirror of life reflects scarcity. When you cultivate abundance consciousness, opportunities multiply before you. This is not coincidence, but cosmic law. Let us turn to the tale of Wei, a wandering merchant whose fortunes shifted dramatically through his understanding of this principle. Wei traveled from village to village, carrying tales of misfortune and expecting hardship at every turn. Predictably, his journey brought him exactly what he anticipated: closed doors, missed opportunities, and endless struggles. One evening, seeking shelter from a storm, Wei encountered a wise woman who shared the secret of the universal mirror. "Your journey reflects your thoughts," she told him. "Change your story, and you change your path." Wei began to consciously shift his internal narrative. Where he once saw potential disasters, he now anticipated divine opportunities. Where he previously expected rejection, he looked for welcome. As his inner world transformed, his outer world responded in kind. Doors opened, fortune smiled, and his path brightened with each passing day. Sacred practice, the mirror of truth. Find a quiet space where you can reflect undisturbed. Take 3 deep breaths to center yourself. Identify an area of your life that brings dissatisfaction. Write it down with complete honesty. Now examine your internal beliefs about this situation. What thoughts do you hold? What emotions arise? What stories do you tell yourself? Record these with unflinching truthfulness. Ask yourself, if life is truly a mirror, what internal shift must I make to see a different reflection? Write down the new internal state you wish to cultivate. Be specific about the thoughts, beliefs, and emotions you choose to embody. For the next 7 days, dedicate time each morning to consciously inhabiting this new internal state. Watch as the mirror of life begins to reflect these changes back to you. Chapter 24, Mastering Your Mind. In the ancient city of Quan, there lived a sculptor named Ming, whose works were said to possess an otherworldly beauty. While other artisans scattered their attention across multiple projects, Ming devoted himself entirely to one vision at a time. Each morning he would sit before his untouched stone, close his eyes, and hold a single image in his mind with unwavering clarity. Through this practice of absolute focus, Ming's hands seemed guided by an unseen force. His sculptures appeared to emerge from the stone as if they had always existed within, waiting to be revealed. Those who witnessed his work spoke of how time seemed to stand still as Ming carved, his concentration so complete that the world around him ceased to exist. You too possess this power of focused creation. When your thoughts scatter like leaves in the wind, your energy disperses, leaving you with incomplete manifestations and unfulfilled desires. Yet when you direct your mental energy toward a single point like a beam of light through a magnifying glass, you ignite the fire of transformation. The mind by its nature tends to wander. Like a monkey jumping from branch to branch, it moves restlessly from one thought to another. This scattered attention dilutes your creative power, However, through conscious practice, you can develop the art of mental focus, concentrating your thoughts into a laser-like beam of manifestation. Consider the tale of Li Wei, a sailor renowned for his ability to navigate through the fiercest storms. While other ships were tossed by chaos, Li Wei kept his vessel steady by fixing his gaze upon a single star. As waves crashed and winds howled, his unwavering focus on that distant point guided him safely to shore. Those who sailed with him marveled at his calm amidst chaos, never understanding that his secret lay not in fighting the storm, but in maintaining his focus despite it. Sacred practice, the focus drill. Find a quiet space where you will remain undisturbed for 15 minutes. Light a candle or choose a simple object as your focal point. Sit comfortably and take 3 deep breaths to center yourself. Fix your gaze upon your chosen point. As thoughts arise, acknowledge them without engagement, letting them pass like clouds in the sky. When you notice your attention wandering, gently guide it back to your focal point. Do not judge yourself for these wanderings. Simply return to focus. Practice this daily, gradually increasing the duration as your mental discipline strengthens. Then, apply this same focused attention to your desires and goals. Choose one vision to hold in your mind with the same unwavering concentration. Feel its reality with every fiber of your being, maintaining this single-pointed focus despite any distractions that may arise. Just as Ming revealed beauty from stone through focused intention and Li Wei navigated storms through fixed attention, you too will discover that focused thought holds the power to manifest your deepest desires. Chapter 25. Cultivating Unshakable Faith. In a distant valley where crops withered under relentless sun, there lived a farmer whose unwavering faith moved the very heavens. While others despaired as their fields turned to dust, this farmer knelt each morning in his barren field, offering prayers of gratitude for the rain he knew would come. His neighbors thought him mad, for he spoke of the coming rains with such certainty that one might think he commanded the clouds themselves. Day after day he tended his parched earth as if it were already blessed with abundance. He prepared his fields, planted his seeds, and gave thanks for the water that had yet to fall. When others questioned his actions, he simply smiled and continued his preparations with absolute certainty. On the 40th day, as he knelt in prayer, the first drops fell. Soon the sky opened, and life-giving rain drenched the valley. While others scrambled to prepare their fields, his land drank deeply, seeds already in place, ready to flourish. You too possess this power of unshakable faith. When you plant the seeds of your desires in the fertile soil of absolute belief, the universe conspires to bring forth your harvest. Faith is not mere hope or wishful thinking. It is knowing with such certainty that doubt finds no purchase in your mind. This knowing transcends logic and reason. It stems from a deeper place, where universal truth resides. When you access this place, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing, for faith bridges the gap between thought and physical reality. In the ancient kingdom of Nur, there lived a warrior who embodied this truth. Facing an army that outnumbered his forces 10-1, he maintained such complete faith in victory that his certainty infected every soldier under his command. While others saw certain defeat, he saw only triumph. Each night before battle, he would polish his victory sword, not the one he carried, but the ceremonial blade he knew would mark his success. His absolute faith transformed his soldiers' fears into unshakable confidence. When the armies clashed, his men fought with the certainty of those who had already won. Their victory was not merely possible. In their minds, it had already occurred, And so it came to pass just as their warrior leader had known it would. Sacred practice. The faith list. Take a blank parchment and inscribe upon it the desires you commit to believing in without question. These are not mere wishes or hopes. They are certainties waiting to materialize. For each desire, write, "I know with absolute certainty that," followed by your desire stated as if it has already manifested. Place this list where you will see it daily. Each morning and evening, read each statement aloud, feeling the truth of it in every cell of your being. When doubt arises, as it naturally will, simply observe it without engaging, returning always to your knowing. Like the farmer who gave thanks for rain not yet fallen, maintain your certainty regardless of external circumstances. Review and renew your faith list regularly, adding new certainties as they arise in your heart. Let each item resonate with the same unwavering faith that moved mountains and parted seas in the ancient tales of power. Chapter 26. The Role of Compassion and Service. In a village nestled among ancient hills lived a healer whose hands held no gold, yet whose heart overflowed with riches beyond measure. Each dawn he would gather herbs from the mountainside, brewing remedies freely given to all who sought his aid. Though his cottage remained humble, light seemed to pour from its windows, drawing weary souls like moths to flame. You must understand that this healer's power lay not in the herbs he gathered, but in the love he poured into every remedy. With each person he helped, his own spirit grew stronger. His connection to the universal flow of abundance deepened. He asked nothing in return, yet found his own needs mysteriously met. A basket of fresh bread here, a warm cloak there, appearing as naturally as dew forms on morning grass. The universe operates through this law of giving and receiving. When you serve others with an open heart, you align yourself with the natural flow of abundance. Like a river that must flow to remain pure, wealth of spirit must move through you to truly enrich your life. In the same village dwelt a merchant whose coffers overflowed with gold, yet whose heart remained empty as a dried well. He hoarded his wealth, counting coins by candlelight, forever fearful of loss. Though his house stood larger than any other, its shadows stretched long and cold across the village square. Despite his material riches, he walked alone, his spirit shriveled by the very wealth he thought would bring him joy. The merchant watched the healer with bewilderment, unable to comprehend how one who gave everything away could radiate such contentment. He saw only the healer's modest dwelling, missing entirely the wealth of love that flowed through his life. This truth stands eternal. True abundance flows not from what you gather, but from what you give. When you serve others with compassion, you tap into the infinite stream of universal prosperity. Your acts of kindness create ripples that return to you multiplied, though this must never be your motivation. Sacred practice. The compassion key. Choose one day to become a channel for universal abundance through acts of service. Find someone in need, it matters not whether stranger or friend, and offer aid without expectation of return. This might mean sharing your time, your skills, or your resources. As you perform this act of service, observe carefully the feelings that arise within you. Notice how giving freely opens channels of joy and fulfillment that no amount of taking ever could. In your journal, record the service you performed, the feelings it awakened within you, any unexpected gifts or opportunities that appeared in your life afterward. Remember, the goal is not to give in order to receive, but to give because your spirit recognizes its oneness with all life. In this recognition lies the key to true abundance. Chapter 27, Recognizing Signs and Synchronicities. Along the ancient silk routes walked a wanderer whose name has been lost to time. Each morning he would pause to observe the patterns of birds in flight, the way shadows fell across his path, and the whispers of the wind through desert grass. These seemingly ordinary occurrences guided his steps with extraordinary precision. One dawn, a peculiar arrangement of stones caught his eye, forming an arrow that pointed east. Though others passed this formation without notice, the wanderer recognized it as a sign. Following this direction, he discovered an oasis where a village struggled with drought. His knowledge of finding water beneath the earth's surface saved countless lives. The universe speaks in a language more ancient than words. Through signs, symbols, and meaningful coincidences, it weaves a tapestry of guidance for those who learn to perceive its patterns. These divine messages appear in countless forms: a recurring number, an animal crossing your path, or a chance encounter that changes everything. When you attune yourself to this sacred language, you begin to recognize that nothing occurs by mere chance. Each moment carries potential significance. Each coincidence holds possible direction. The universe orchestrates these synchronicities as guideposts along your path of manifestation. In a distant academy lived a scholar who prided himself on pure logic and reason. Day after day, he encountered unusual occurrences: books falling open to relevant passages, strangers speaking words that answered his private questions, dreams that mirrored his daily challenges. Yet he dismissed these as mere coincidence, clinging to his belief that life held no deeper meaning. One day, preparing a lecture on ancient wisdom traditions, he noticed 3 separate references to a remote monastery. A student mentioned it that morning. He found it cited in an unrelated text, and later saw its image in a merchant's collection. Still, he ignored these signs, choosing instead to continue his planned journey to a different region. Years later, he discovered that monastery held manuscripts he had sought his entire life, knowledge that would have transformed his work had he heeded the signs when they appeared. Sacred practice. The language of signs. Create a signs journal to record the subtle ways the universe speaks to you. Each day, note unusual coincidences or recurring patterns, meaningful encounters or conversations, symbols or images that draw your attention, dreams that feel significant, numbers or words that repeatedly appear. For each occurrence, write the exact nature of the sign, your immediate intuitive interpretation, how it relates to your current path or questions, any guidance it seems to offer. After 7 days, review your entries to discover patterns or messages you might have missed in the moment. Remember that signs often become clear only when viewed as part of a larger pattern. Trust your inner knowing as you interpret these messages. The universe speaks to each soul in a unique language. What holds meaning for you might appear ordinary to another. Your intuition serves as the sacred translator of these divine communications. Chapter 28, Becoming the Observer and Creator. In the mountains of the east lived a monk who spent his days beside a mighty river. Each morning he would sit upon its banks, watching leaves and branches carried by the current. He noticed how some debris caught in eddies, creating new patterns in the water's flow, while other elements moved smoothly downstream. One day, observing a leaf trapped in a whirlpool, he realized his own thoughts followed similar patterns. Just as the river's course could be altered by fallen trees or shifting stones, his life's direction changed with each thought he allowed to take root. The power to shape your reality lies not in forcing outcomes, but in understanding the natural flow of your thoughts and choosing which currents to follow. Like a river carving its path through stone, Your consciousness creates channels through which experience flows. When you observe your thoughts without attachment, you gain mastery over their direction. Each moment presents an opportunity to witness the stream of your consciousness and guide it toward desired destinations. This is not control through force, but through gentle awareness and intention. In the days of old, there lived a queen whose kingdom mirrored her inner state. Initially, she struggled against circumstances, trying to command her realm through sheer will. Her resistance created turbulence throughout her lands, just as a dam creates chaos in a river's flow. Everything changed when she learned to watch her thoughts as one watches clouds pass across the sky. She noticed how her worries about drought would precede failed harvests, while her visions of abundance preceded prosperity. Rather than fighting against these patterns, she began to direct them with the same gentle touch one might use to guide a leaf upon the water. As she mastered this art of detached observation and conscious redirection, her kingdom transformed. The people sensed the shift in her energy and responded in kind. Where there had been resistance, flow emerged. Where there had been struggle, ease prevailed. Sacred practice, the observer's art. Set aside time each day for this ancient practice of conscious observation and redirection. Find a quiet space and settle into stillness. Watch your thoughts arise without judgment, as you would watch a river flow. Notice patterns in your thinking. Which thoughts create tension? Which bring ease? When you identify a thought that doesn't serve your highest good, gently redirect it toward what you wish to create. Record in your journal the patterns you observe, the redirections you choose, the shifts that occur as a result. Practice this art of detached observation throughout your day, remembering that you are not your thoughts, but the consciousness that witnesses and directs them. Chapter 29, Effortless Manifestation in All Areas of Life. In the ancient lands beyond the eastern seas, a traveler named Wei discovered the art of harmonious manifestation. Each morning, he would stand beneath the rising sun, allowing its warmth to fill his being as he held 3 precious stones, one for health, one for abundance, and one for love. Through this ritual, he learned that true mastery comes not from pursuing one desire at the expense of others, but from nurturing all aspects of life simultaneously. You possess this same capacity for balanced creation. The universe responds not to scattered energy, but to focused intention, distributed with wisdom across life's essential domains. Just as a garden requires attention to soil, water, and sunlight, your life flourishes when you tend to its interconnected elements. The power of manifestation flows most freely when you recognize the relationship between different areas of your life. Your physical vitality influences your capacity for wealth creation. Your emotional well-being shapes your relationships. Your spiritual alignment affects every endeavor you undertake. To manifest in multiple domains, begin each day by setting clear intentions for each area you wish to transform. Visualize your ideal health, seeing vitality flowing through every cell. Picture abundance flowing into your life through multiple channels. Feel the warmth of loving connections surrounding you. Hold these visions with equal reverence, understanding that neglecting one area creates imbalance in others. The universe responds to harmony, not hierarchy of desires. In the marketplace of a distant city lived a merchant named Chen, who struggled to find success despite his relentless focus on wealth. His health suffered, his relationships withered, and though his coins multiplied, his joy diminished. Through the guidance of a wise teacher, he learned to align himself with the universal laws of balance. Chen began dedicating equal attention to nurturing his body, cultivating his relationships, and growing his business. He discovered that as his health improved, his energy for commerce increased. As his relationships deepened, new opportunities emerged through his connections. As his business thrived, he had more resources to invest in his well-being. Sacred practice, the sphere of balance. Choose one area of your life for focused manifestation while maintaining awareness of its connection to all others. Select your primary focus: health, wealth, relationships, or spiritual growth. Create a manifestation journal dedicated to this area. Each day, record your specific intention, actions taken toward your goal, signs of progress, how this growth affects other life areas. After each week, reflect on the ripple effects of your focused manifestation. Adjust your approach based on these observations. Maintain this practice for one lunar cycle, noting how progress in your chosen area naturally enhances other aspects of your life. Chapter 30. Embodying your highest self. In the valleys of the ancient mountains lived a sage whose very presence radiated wisdom. His teachings flowed not from his words, but from his being. Those who encountered him witnessed a man who had merged completely with the universal laws he understood. Each step he took, each word he spoke, each gesture he made, carried the power of absolute knowing. You too hold this capacity to embody the highest truth of who you are. The power of manifestation reaches its peak when you cease merely practicing these principles and become their living expression. The universe responds not to what you do, but to who you are. When you rise each morning, you face a choice: to live from the limited self of old patterns, or to step fully into your divine nature as a creator of reality. This choice shapes every moment that follows. The sage did not teach through lengthy discourse. He simply lived in perfect alignment with universal law. When villagers brought their troubles to him, he would smile, for he saw their divine nature even when they could not. His presence alone reminded them of their own power, and their lives transformed through this recognition. Through the mountain passes wandered a seeker named Jin, carrying scrolls of wisdom yet unable to manifest his desires. Though his mind knew the teachings, his being remained separate from them. He watched others create magnificent lives while he remained bound by doubt. For years, Jin traveled from teacher to teacher, seeking the missing key to manifestation. One day he encountered the sage sitting in silence beneath a flowering tree. In that moment, Jin understood. The difference lay not in knowing more, but in becoming more. The sage simply was what others strived to learn. His thoughts naturally manifested because they arose from his true nature as a creator. He had transcended the gap between knowledge and embodiment. Sacred practice. Embodying your divine nature. Find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Visualize yourself as your highest self, the version of you who lives in complete alignment with universal law. Notice how this elevated version of you moves through the world, speaks to others, makes decisions, and responds to challenges. Feel yourself merging with this vision. Open your eyes and carry this embodiment into your day. When faced with choices, ask, how would my highest self approach this? Act from this elevated state in all situations. Maintain this practice daily, allowing your divine nature to express itself naturally through your being. Conclusion. Throughout these pages, you have uncovered ancient truths that sages and masters have known across the ages. The power to shape reality has always resided within you, waiting to be awakened. As you close this sacred text, remember that each thought that crosses your mind carries the seed of creation. Your journey began with the recognition that thoughts are not mere whispers in consciousness, but powerful forces that ripple through the fabric of existence. You have learned that every circumstance in your life, every joy, every challenge, first took root as a thought in your mind. The universe responds to your inner world with perfect precision. Like the artisan who shapes clay with careful hands, you mold your reality through the quality of your thoughts. This wisdom, passed down through generations, reveals itself anew in each moment you choose to think with purpose and power. Through these teachings, you have discovered that manifestation flows naturally when you align with universal law. Your thoughts, charged with emotion and backed by unwavering belief, become the blueprint for your experiences. Each visualization, each affirmation, each moment of gratitude has strengthened your connection to this creative force. You now understand that doubt and fear are but shadows that fade in the light of conscious awareness. By choosing thoughts of abundance, love, and success, you attract these very qualities into your experience. The power has always been yours. This text has simply reminded you of what your soul has always known. Let every thought be a conscious creation. When you wake each morning, remember that you step into a world shaped by your mind. Each interaction, each endeavor, each moment carries the potential for transformation through the power of directed thought. The practice of conscious creation does not end with the closing of these pages. It continues in every breath, in every choice, in every thought you allow to take root in your mind. You have always been the author of your story. Now you write each page with awareness and intention. The ancient wisdom keepers spoke of this power, and now it lives through you. Your thoughts are the brushstrokes painting the masterpiece of your life. Choose them wisely, nurture them carefully, and watch as they bloom into the reality you desire. This knowledge, once forgotten but now remembered, transforms you into a conscious creator of your destiny. Every thought carries the power to begin anew, to reshape what was, to manifest what will be. The eternal laws of the universe stand ready to serve your highest vision. Let each thought be a seed planted in fertile soil, watered with belief, and nurtured by your unwavering faith in the process of creation. The power of manifestation flows through you with every conscious choice you make. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.